NBA Players Association, the union, the league, finally meet face to face for the showdown of all throwdown. Shout out to Bobby Flay. If you know, you know. Head to head, talking CBA, negotiating a deal, and it went exactly as we expected.
Guess what? The WNBA is out there toying with fire. There are no extinguishers. With diva meltdowns and fans going missing like Houdini, the league could be on the verge of complete disintegration. Is this a sneaker-wearing reality program or a sports league? Stay tuned as we examine the possibility of the WNBA inadvertently canceling itself. You don't want to miss this spiral, we assure you. It's hectic, disorganized, and amusing. Let's begin.
A lockout is looming for the WNBA, and I think it's about time that people start recognizing that that is probably the direction of what is going to happen with the WNBA, as yesterday's meetings didn't seem to go all that well. And that's directly from the mouth of players, and with what's going on in their comments, which they made yesterday or even today. I'm not sure when they made the...
Though they are actually reenacting a low-budget soap opera with sneakers and sponsorship deals, these women are out there behaving like the Avengers. The ability to be marketable was eventually supplanted by the ability to be annoying. Additionally, the branding has been enthusiastically accepted by the WNBA Players Association.
The owners putting their foot down and saying, "Are you ladies out your damn mind?" The Players Association asking for abnormal things. "Oh, but we want 50% of revenue share. Oh, but we want this and we want that." Yeah, it didn't go over too well, folks. It didn't go over too well. And with every statement that we hear from the Players Association, from their representatives, from their executive director, and every non-statement we hear from the league, it just continues to kick this can down the road, heading toward a WNBA.
Basketball isn't even relevant anymore. Every conversation in the current group therapy session is tinged with side glances, animosity, and social media subtweets. They have persuaded themselves that accusing supporters of racism is a tactic for expansion. Forget about increasing gameplay or stats. Not at all. Isolating the very audience you're pleading with to care is the true secret to success. Because nothing indicates we're gaining followers like making general accusations in between missed layups and angry Instagram posts. That will fill the venues to capacity.
We have all been wondering, what are these players' demands in these CBA negotiations? What are they asking for? Are they asking for Rolls Royces? Are they asking for Jason Tatum contracts? We don't know what they asking for. We wanted answers, and Gabby Williams gave them to us this morning. Oh man, she was cooking with hot grease. Gabby Williams was cooking with hot grease. She was clocking tea, is what they call it. Gabby Williams went in this morning about how bad the CBA negotiations went with the owners and how the players' words went in one ear and out the other.
Let us also discuss this striking nonsense. The horror, a blow. A group of basketball players earning six figures to play for half a year are threatening to quit. So, let's all clutch our pearls. The kicker is this. At a typical game, no one outside of the 400 attendees would even notice. A league cannot be held hostage if the hostage is unaware that they have been captured. It's similar to attempting to hold a sock puppet hostage. Feel free to strike. Take a seat. The league may even attract more supporters as a result of the quiet.
God, do I hope there's a WNBA walkout. I do. I hope the women of the WNBA walk out like they're threatening. The WNBA's Players Union, they announced that the players will opt out of their current collective bargaining agreement with the league. That's right, they're opting out. They have that option. They announced this a day after the WNBA finals concluded that the Well, the New York Liberty, New York, which is good for the league, won. Big market. It won. Caitlin Clark, not a big market, but a big star. So they've won. But the league has lost, as we've talked about, $40 million. Even this.
While being dragged through the WNBA's emotional group project, Caitlin Clark is over here attempting to play real basketball. In addition to elbows, cold shoulders, and media hysteria, she is now expected to comment on CBA talks. Not at all. Caitlin, don't go near the table. That negotiation chamber resembles a reunion of Real Housewives with sneakers and union representatives more than it does a policy discussion. The energy is poisonous. They have personal objectives. Additionally, there is a lot of jealousy infused with conceit. Imagine being seated next to athletes who view success as a finite resource, who think it's offensive when every sold jersey doesn't have their name on it. They arrive at media day with a third eye for perceived slights, a chip on each shoulder, and a group chat prepared to blow up at the slightest praise. Before jeopardizing her mental health for a league that appears more interested in consuming its future stars than in embracing them, Caitlin Clark ought to be playing golf in peace. Furthermore, let's not act as though everything is fine within the union. Even the WNBA Players Association president struggles to maintain harmony in her own locker room. Sitcoms that are more harmonious than what's happening there exist. Drama, arguments, and passive-aggressive shade. It's amazing that they even engage in games between bouts of the never-ending ego conflict.
You see from all these different interviews is there's a certain lack of understanding of business. And while I will always champion for people to get as much money as they possibly can, and they should fight for every dollar that they possibly can, they need to have some level of leverage and information that proves their stance, proves that they earned this compensation that they are so very much.
The optics aren't screaming solidarity when your leader is squabbling with teammates, so perhaps it's time to rethink your movement. We can't even group text without blowing up. They are yelling. It is an Olympic-level hallucination. Somehow, players who score 6 points every game feel like they're leading a revolution. They portray it as daring to decline to shake Caitlin Clark's hand. Gaining respect is similar to harassing the league's most talked-about player. No, that's how you get blowback and memes. Congratulations if your intention was to incite opposition. It's operating flawlessly. The league's front office is most likely cowering beneath their desks in the meantime, watching as attendance figures sway like a Jenga tower during a seismic activity. Soap opera tantrums don't appeal to corporate advertisers. They're looking for engagement, numbers, and significance. Instead, because they didn't sign up for a social lecture with their sports package, they're seeing more Twitter think pieces than highlights and fans checking out. However, the Players Association believes they are unbeatable. They believe that supporters will always remain. They think their hashtags are just as important as genuine talent. It's similar to witnessing someone light their own house on fire and then expect praise for keeping the match going. They continue to poke fun at Caitlin Clark as if she weren't the one pulling their TV ratings out of the abyss on her own.
In a statement, the league kind of ignored that and just put in whatever it is that they wanted. Now, it is no doubt that the WNBA is growing, right? We have new teams that are being added to the league that are going to be up to 18 in the next few years. We've seen record-breaking views, so it shouldn't shock anybody that the players are asking just for a way to reap some of those benefits. And from the looks of it, because it doesn't look like negotiations are going very well, it does look like the league is trending more towards a lockout, which obviously would not be good for anybody because right now this is at a stage of growth.
She could now take a midday sleep and still contribute more to the league than all of the professional grudge holders on the roster. Envy is loud. Every time a player claims they earned it, every sarcastic remark, and every cheap shot, you can hear it, while completely disregarding the fact that their fans just aren't attending. Caitlin Clark is not to blame for that. The media is not to blame for it. That isn't misogyny, racism, or any other prefabricated justification. It's the item. The problem is the product. And instead of shielding the spark when it is ultimately ignited, they attempt to smother it with a communal sense of resentment. Allow the strike to occur. Permit them to leave. Allow them to stamp their feet and hold their breath. The majority of people on the planet wouldn't flinch, which is a sad fact. The majority of casual fans wouldn't realize until they attempted to stream a game and were met with an Antiques Roadshow replay instead. Furthermore, the ratings may even rise after that.
This isn't the NBA.
The NFL is not this. The individuals within this league are creating holes in the tank as they compete for air. Additionally, Caitlin Clark needs to run quickly. Avoid the private meetings when truth dies and egos are allowed to soar. Allow the mature women who have the energy of a high school lunchroom to quarrel with one another. Already, Clark has generated more excitement for the league than it has in years. They're attempting to remove her from the train as the lunch ticket. It's insane. She needs to let them go their own way and concentrate on her mission. Play basketball at a high level instead of seeing injured pride.
Officials know what they're calling and what they're not. They know what to look for and what not. Caitlin Clark is a really big deal. And I wonder if they're not calling fouls on her on purpose. Now, I'm not saying that's why she got hurt. I mean, I'm not saying that. But I wonder, just watching these games, are they not calling fouls where she gets hit on purpose because the backlash and what could happen, the optics of, Caitlin Clark getting all these foul calls, getting superstar foul calls, what that would do to the WNBA conversation and attention to.
The way players speak as like they are holding the cards is what makes this whole situation even more ridiculous. The cards. You're bluffing with the napkin, ma'am. Only those who continue to share Instagram stories about being ignored while sitting courtside in designer sneakers are unaware of the change in the power dynamics. There is no problem in the Caitlin Clark effect. It has become the new norm. Additionally, get out of the way if you are unable to fulfill it. Fans are paying attention now for a purpose. Seats are filling up for a purpose. Furthermore, it has nothing to do with ambiguously hostile tweets or commitments made during collective bargaining. The reason for this is that, for the first time in ages, there is a player who is truly thrilling to watch, who improves the game, and who, gasp, is relatable. The WNBA as a whole has decided to put her in the drama dungeon and hope she doesn't notice. Since she is the league's golden goose, they ought to be promoting her, shielding her, and developing around her. Instead, they are allowing the establishment to attack her as though she is to blame for their peak during the Obama presidency. It's funny. It's pitiful, and that's precisely why the league runs the risk of collapsing due to its own negative mindset. Allow the strike to occur. Allow the tweets to flow. There is still hope as long as Caitlin Clark remains above the mess. So let the president of the Players Association debate with her own reflection if she so chooses.
You gotta pay attention to the breadcrumbs. Pay attention to the breadcrumbs. She said it's a problem having games 3 to 4 games a week. 3 to 4 games a week, which is crazy to me. I like 3 games a week is not that. Y'all want more money and less games is what it sound like. It sound like y'all want more money and less games, bro.
So I don't think we're going to be able to play everyone 3 or 4 times.